After 4 days on the sidelines, the Mets are back in action, this time on the left coast, trying to make some waves as they try to continue their ascent toward the top. At Petco Park in San Diego, the New York Mets play the San Diego Padres. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to San Diego. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you tonight. The Mets start the post-All-Star break portion of their schedule with a 10-game road trip starting tonight in San Diego and hoping to keep the good times rolling after an 8-2 homestand leading up to the break.
Well, they started playing their best baseball here right before the break. The pitching has always kept them there, but the offense has kicked it into gear. They're starting to be more aggressive at the plate. They're doing the little things, taking the extra base, getting the guys over. We've had a squeeze bunt, a successful squeeze bunt, all the little things. And I think with Nice coming back, it's going to solidify the rotation. It's going to strengthen the bullpen when Daisuke goes into the pen, when Nice comes back. So things are looking up for this ball club, but they're playing a deceptively, everybody thinks the San Diego Padres are kind of a bad ball club. Well, the Padres are in third place. They're not in last place.
The question is, though, with 4 days off, how much can you carry the momentum of that homestand into this next set of games?
Well, it certainly is from a player's standpoint, Gary. You get an 8-2 run, a team that couldn't win at home, you want to continue to play, but it didn't fall that way. I always felt when I came back every year, the first two games I felt out of sync after the 4 days off, and that was with workouts. So hopefully this team can keep it rolling and start this road trip off on the right foot.
And it starts with Bartolo Colon on the mound. Colon will be working on 7 days rest, hoping to have a better first inning this time around.
Well, you know, he's had a tough time his last time, 5 times out in the first inning, giving up runs in all 5 starts. But I think your veteran starter, he's 8-8 on the year, should be a lot better. I think he's the guy that you want to start the road trip off and get the ball rolling on the right foot.
And on the mound for San Diego, Ian Kennedy, who's been on quite a roll through July.
Well, it's the second year here with the Padres. He's 7-9, and if you got 7 wins in this ball club, you're doing pretty good. He's throwing a curveball this year, and he's been very effective. He is 4-2 lifetime against the Mets.
Mets beat Kennedy at Citi Field last month. They'll try and do it again tonight as they get the second half rolling, trying to surf their way toward the pennant. Mets and Padres, all the action coming your way on SNY. Brought to you by Lexus, introducing a car designed with one purpose: to stand apart. The 2014 Lexus IS, it's your move. By Pepsi, for more of MLB's most thrilling moments, check out MLB.com/Pepsi. By Geico. And by your Tri Honda dealer. Hurry to your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on the 2014 models. You can follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. Time for you to send in your AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight during the game. It's a gorgeous night in San Diego. Of course, every night is gorgeous in San Diego. Mets and Padres getting set to start the second half of the season. Next. The opener of this 10-game road trip for the Mets. New York Mets baseball on SNY, brought to you by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Speak with Steve Dukoff in Bayside or Mary Jean Marino in Franklin Square today. Tonight's Twisted But True Fact is brought to you by Twisted Tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. Mike Trout, MVP of the All-Star game, younger than 14 players that played in the Futures game on Sunday. He's got a nice future ahead of him. He's got a good pretty good present, too.
Yes.
Geico starting lineup for the Mets: Curtis Granderson, who homered leading off the game against Ian Kennedy. First time the Mets faced him this season. Daniel Murphy, fresh back from the All-Star game. And Kirk Neuenhuis gets the first start in left field in this post-All-Star break portion of the season. As the Mets face Kennedy for the second time this year, his first pitch to Granderson is low and inside on the corner. And it's a strike, and we're underway.
Yeah, 29-year-old, second year as a Padre, traded last year at the deadline, the trade deadline from Arizona.
And Kennedy has been on a nice roll through the early part of July. 3 starts, no more than 1 run allowed in any of the 3.
Big shift, as we see on Granderson, dead pull hitter. I would be inclined to agree with that alignment on the infield. And you can see right now Kennedy trying to move the ball in and out. He's a sinker ball pitcher. He's starting to throw a curve ball this year. He got it from Adam Wainwright, from the Cardinals, and with quite a lot of success.
Granderson hits one toward the middle and a base hit to lead off the festivities. So after homering against Kennedy, leading off the first inning in New York, Granderson with a base hit up the middle to begin the first inning here.
Well, I mentioned there, he always gets quick out of the box. Gets a little tangled up there, and I was talking about the curve ball. Well, that ball was ripped up the middle.
So how often do you see the pitcher go down and the hitter go down on the same play to start the game? Pitcher getting out of the way and Granderson just into a stumble. Now, you told me that sometimes you're a little out of sync coming back from the All-Star break.
Right. You have to really you lose a little bit of your rhythm.
Well, here's the guy who should be in the best rhythm for the Mets, Daniel Murphy, who got to play in the All-Star game, one at bat, a strikeout. Great experience for Murph, who just had a great time in Minneapolis.
Hey, congratulations to Murph. Beautiful day. Afternoon now.
Kennedy keeping it away from Murph, and it's 0-2.
Well, the game I remember Kennedy pitching was with, how many years ago when Ike Davis in Arizona took him deep, two home runs in a game, dead central?
That was 2 years ago. Of course, it was 3 years ago in 2011 that Kennedy had that great season for Arizona when he went 21-4. But it kind of fell apart from the next year, and then last year got traded at the deadline to the Padres, and things didn't go well for him here in San Diego second half of last year. And he was up and down to get this season started. The Mets knocked him around pretty good first time they faced him this year. But lately he has been on his game. Just off the corner to Murphy, 2-2.
Well, the Padres, very much like the Mets, have two honorable logos, I guess, a bit inappropriate word, on their jerseys. You know, Jerry Coleman passed away, their longtime announcer, and Tony Gwynn, of course. There's the 19 for Tony Gwynn. And there's Tony right there.
Greatest Padre of them all.
Gary, you mentioned it was very strange for you not to see Jerry here because he's been here forever.
Well, Jerry Coleman, was broadcaster from the Padres almost from their very start. It was their manager for a year, but just such a towering figure here in San Diego. Murphy fouls one away, and it was very strange to walk into the ballpark here today and not see Jerry.
That's sweet that they did that. Jerry was a friend of my father's. They grew up in the Bay Area together, San Francisco, and Jerry remembered my father. My father was older than Jerry.
Granderson at first and nobody out, and Murphy goes down swinging for the first out of the ninth.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Kennedy's throwing hard right now. He's got a good fastball working. Foul tipped.
Well, Kennedy's been striking out batters at a higher rate than he ever has in his career. 9.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's third in the National League at the All-Star break. So here's David Wright. David got to rest during the break, a rarity for him, only the second time in the last 9 years. And David went into the break hot, hitting .440 over his last 7 games. Got a cortisone shot in his shoulder right after the game on Sunday. He had been back for a little over a week after sitting out for a week, and the shoulder was still enough of a concern that he got the shot, which he had not gotten previously.
And the key to a cortisone shot, folks, is that you've really got to localize where the injury is. You've got to inject in the area. If you miss the area, and the cortisone is not going to do any good. It has to be precisely where the injury is, and it's an anti-inflam, really. I mean, you're not getting it better. It's not a cure-all. It's just going to get the inflammation down.
Well, whatever David has been suffering with that left shoulder, as that curveball follows him, and it's 2-1. it clearly was not reflected in his hitting. The hitting did not seem to bother him. It was more the reaching in the field or the sliding. He's tried to eliminate the head first slide from his repertoire.
Or David is not telling anybody. I haven't seen anything different.
Well, certainly the results have been there. He's been swinging the bat well over the last stretch since he came back. Granderson, 7 stolen bases in 9 tries. Kennedy has given up 7 steals, but has had 6 caught, so his percentage against awfully good. Lucas Duda waits to hit next. The Mets have certainly been hitting for more power recently. It's one of the reasons for their upsurge. 26 home runs in the last 25 games. That's the most in the National League over that stretch. And yet the Mets are still 3rd from the bottom in the league overall. David drives one to center, but right there is Venable to play it, and that's the second out.
And we'll take a look at your San Diego Pods defense, brought to you by Coors Light. And Carlos Quentin having a tough year at the plate. Seth Smith having a good year, just signed a 2-year deal. Their infield is just a mess. 3/4 of that infield is on the DL. They're kind of mixing and matching there.
Chris Nelson just called up today, hadn't played in the big leagues all year, and he's playing second base for the Padres tonight. Here's Lucas Duda. Lucas, one of the real bright spots coming into the All-Star break. 14 homers, 49 RBIs at the break, and has certainly contributed to that uptick in power for the Mets. Granderson at first and 2 out, and Duda swinging at the first pitch, and that may be the biggest difference of all right there.
I think for the basically majority of the lineup, more aggression at the plate. And you see the defense right there. They're going to play Lucas not so much like Granderson anymore. Lucas has been using left center field.
Interestingly, the Mets just came out of a stretch of games against teams that don't shift quite as much. The Marlins and the Braves. Against a San Diego team tonight that does more shifting, and so Granderson and Duda, who had not been seeing the extreme shifts, seeing more of that here in this first inning than they have in a while. It's been such an interesting year defensively as the Pigeons frolic to watch the differences in the way teams now play their infield defenses. Yes. Because there's a very stark difference. Teams will look at the same scouting report on the same player, and yet play their infield defense very differently.
Well, it is interesting, Gare, but Lucas now is going to have more holes open for him available as he uses left center field, and that has a lot to do with Lamar Johnson.
And that one hits him, and Lucas is aboard. So the Mets have 2 men on for Travis d'Arnaud.
It's the slider here. Got Lucas on the back foot.
Barely felt it.
So, Mr. d'Arnaud, something of note, starts the second half of the season in the 5th position in the order, Gary. Something that I called for in his comeback when he came back.
His last 3 starts, he started in the 5-hole before the All-Star break, and Terry keeps him there with Neuenhuis sitting 6th behind him.
He's a line drive hitter, d'Arnaud, and I just like him getting a little more protection in that middle of the lineup as opposed to hitting 7th.
16 games since coming back from Las Vegas. d'Arnaud hitting .295 with 3 home runs. 2 out and 2 on, and d'Arnaud takes a fastball for a strike. The one thing that Travis has not done since coming back is hit in RBI spots. For the season, hitting just .135 with runners in scoring position. And a chance here with 2 out. He hits it up the middle. That's a base hit. Granderson around third. He'll come home with the game's first run. d'Arnaud comes through in an RBI spot, and the Mets have a 1-0 lead. Well, the Mets have been scoring in the first inning all year long, and they start the second half of the year with a first inning run.
Well, this is what I like since d'Arnaud has come back. He's got more compact swing. Fastball away up the middle. That was a pitch he could not handle. Away when he was here in the early part of the year before he was sent down. And I like what I see.
So the Mets get a first inning run, and now Kirk Neuenhuis, who gets the first crack at left field after the break. Kirk has been a delightful surprise since coming back from Las Vegas. He's been back for about a month now, hitting .357 since his return in a limited number of at-bats.
Well, he's got 14 hits so far this season, 10 of them extra base hits, 7 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. There's Lamar.
Thus a .630 slugging percentage for Neuenhuis, the best by far on the team, again in a very small sample.
But anytime 10 extra base hits and out of 14 hits, that's incredible.
But Terry Collins said tonight that he does continue to plan to mix and match 4 guys in that spot in left field.
Well, every time Chris Young feels like it's ready for him to go, he hits a home run. has a game.
So he'll keep playing against the lefties, and Abreu and Neuenhuis and Eric Young will split the rest of the time. And how you do that over the long term, I'm not quite sure, but at least for the short term, the goal is to keep the bench strong and keep all those guys with enough playing time to allow them to be productive.
Well, Eric Campbell has been a big part of the resurgence. He's on the bench today. He's been great off the bench, great pinch hitting, and great when he's been starting.
1-1 to Neuenhuis, and the curveball bends in for a strike.
That's the new pitch that Kennedy's been throwing. They say the good curveball.
And he's been throwing it a lot, 19% of the time this year, far more than he ever has before. Juan Lagares would be next, hitting 7th in the order. 1-2 coming to Neuenhuis, and he lays off the breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2. The Mets trying to make up ground. They passed by the Marlins by sweeping them the weekend before the break. 7 games behind Washington and Atlanta going into the night. The Nats lost their game to Milwaukee. The Braves have just beaten Philadelphia, so the Braves take a 1-game lead in the NL East.
And there they are. They're moving around. Now they're on the third base line.
Our director loves the pigeons. He'd be feeding them right now if he could.
I'd have to shoo them out. I'm sorry.
Did you say shoo?
Yes. Shoo.
Shoo. Okay.
I mean, look at them. That's distracting. They can get hurt.
Fly away, little pigeons. Now the 2-2, and that's away. Full count to Neuenhuis.
They just flew behind the pitcher when he was delivering the pitch.
Do you remember when we played that long game in San Francisco when the Seagulls descended and you couldn't even see through them? They were so thick.
I remember old Jack Murphy Stadium right here in San Diego.
Runners go 3-2 to Neuenhuis, and he fouls it off.
They had the mercury vapor lights, and you would have a 7 o'clock start. This was the only stadium, Jack Murphy here, that started a 7 o'clock start. In the first inning, the moths would come up to the lights when the lights grabbed the field, and the swallows would dive bomb. And it was incredible. All over the field.
Kennedy takes a look back at Duda.
Tried to tell the Swallows to go to
Capistrano?
Yes.
Where they belong?
Yeah, where they belong.
Get out of here.
Return, please.
25 pitches deep in this first inning. Kennedy trying to get through it. 3-2 coming, and it's outside. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So the Mets had 2 out and a runner at first, but Kennedy unable to close the door. Hit Duda with a pitch. D'Arnaud with an RBI single. And now Neuenhuis works out a walk, and the Mets have the bases loaded and an early visit to the mound. As Juan Lagares comes up, Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, out for a conversation. Things are in some degree of flux here in San Diego. They fired their general manager, Josh Burns. Certainly there's been plenty of rumors that Bud Black and his staff might be the next to go. It's been a very disappointing year for the Padres. So everybody here is kind of on tenterhooks, at least until they hire a new GM.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty right now.
And it's a difficult time not to have a general manager in place since we're 13 days before the trading deadline. So they've had a triumvirate, which includes former Mets GM Omar Minaya kind of running the show in the interim. There's Omar. Here's Lagares with the bases loaded, and he takes away for ball 1. Of course, Omar is an interested observer on 2 levels for this series. Not only is he helping to run the Padres, but a lot of the Mets who are just now starting to bubble to the surface on the big league club are guys that he acquired, like Lagares. Ball and a strike to Juan. Lagares' bat has just started to come around after his latest stint on the disabled list.
Yes, Juan, when he goes bad, likes to go to right field. I think a little bit too much, but it's working it back. He pulled a couple balls in the left center field gap that I liked last homestand.
That one bounces away from Grandal, but Duda will stay at third.
Nice play by Grandal. That's a tough one.
Just got enough of it to keep it from moving too far away.
Well, that is, I don't know how he kept that ball in front. Well done.
Ronnie Grandal, who has been so oft injured over the last couple of years.
Well, nothing you can do here. Lucas at third. Nope, can't do it. Too good a play by the catcher. This is a big bad bat right here with a team that has trouble scoring runs.
Taken the other way, foul. It's 2-2 to Lagares.
This could have been ball 3, but I don't mind. A little outside. I'd rather see Juan aggressive. I'm seeing so much more aggressive hitting on the Mets now than the passivity that we had to endure for 2 months.
2-2 to Lagares with the bases full. And Juan hits it out to shallow center. Venable coming on and drops a base hit. Duda scores. Right behind him is Darno. A 2-run pop fly single for Juan Lagares. And the Mets have put up a 3 spot in the opening inning in San Diego. Right over the linebackers and in front of the defensive backs. Lagares found space to drive into.
You got to, when it's a zone defense, you got to throw it to the seams. Perfectly placed, and you'll take it. It's got 2 RBIs in it, and the Mets give Bartolo Colon a nice little 3 spot and can build on it.
Well, the Mets, who had struggled so mightily with the bases loaded, starting to find some success there as well. So 3 runs are home. Runners at the corners with 2 out, and now here's Ruben Tejada. And Ruben pops up the first one. Second baseman Chris Nelson waiting for it. And that retires the side, but 8 Mets come to bat. And the Mets keep the good feelings going. First half inning out of the All-Star break, they put up 3. And Colon heads to the mound with the lead. Padres starting lineup. Seth Smith has been the lone bright spot for San Diego offensively this year. The Padres averaging under 3 runs per game for the season, which is just startling.
.214 team batting average. That's not easy to do. And there's Bartolo. We mentioned his difficulties in the first inning. The Mets offense gives him a nice 3 spot. I think he's going to take full advantage.
The last 5 starts, Colon has allowed 11 first inning runs. For the season, 18 first inning runs in 18 starts. Seth Smith leads off and takes a fastball for a strike. Smith hitting leadoff for only the 10th time. He's been the 3-hitter for the Padres for a good portion of the season. But they have Carlos Quentin hitting third tonight. Smith in the leadoff spot.
Your third hitter in Carlos Quentin, folks, is hitting 182 for the season.
Colon last time out gave up 3 early runs to the Braves, but managed to survive through 8. And that's how a lot of his starts have gone lately. Rough beginnings, but then able to go deep into games. However, he's lost his last 3 starts, and he hasn't lost 4 in a row since 2007 when he was pitching for the Angels. And he's off to a lead tonight. And he goes away to strike out Smith, and that's a good start for Colon.
Well, he gets tremendous movement on his fastball. You can see that. I mean, it's pretty apparent. It looks more than it really is, but it's a good running fastball. He knows exactly what he's doing. I love to watch him operate on the mound.
Now Chase Headley. Headley hitting a .226, 29 RBIs, which leads the Padres. Just to put that in some perspective, 29 RBIs is the fewest to lead a team at the All-Star break for any team since the 1983 Seattle Mariners. So it gives you some idea of just how inept this San Diego offense has been for most of the year.
And you can see here the Mets putting on David way in the hole, playing Headley as a pull hitter. Headley
just off the corner, 1-2 to Headley.
Now Headley, he had the thumb injury, and he used to have a grip like a golfer with the interlocking fingers. Thank you.
Neuenhuis there for the second out.
When he hurt us. Oh, we're going to do the defense first. I'll get back to it. I got to get the defense in because I know you folks want to see your Metsies in the field. Brought to you by Lexus. Neuenhuis, as Gary said, gets to start in left field. This infield is solid now with Tejada hitting and playing a good shortstop. It's solid. They play every day together. And d'Arnaud behind the plate.
You were saying.
Yes. Interlocking. So when he hurt his thumb, he got away from it. Remember, he had the good year, the very fantastic year.
2 years ago.
And now he's gone back to it, and he's claiming, I guess it's been successful for him. He's on a hot streak here before the All-Star break.
Carlos Quentin just trying to stay on the field. Bangs one to Murphy. Nice easy hop for Daniel, and a 1-2-3 opening inning for Colon. So a little different start for Bartolo. This time he gets through the first unscathed. 3-0 New York after 1. Since the passing of Jerry Coleman, and they have that wonderful statue of Jerry in his flight gear. Of course, he was a war hero, World War II, went back for the Korean War as well. Quite a void.
Yes.
Bartolo Colon leads off for the Mets in the second, after the Mets sent 8 men to the plate against Ian Kennedy in the first.
Bartolo 2 for 37 on the year. One of those hits a double. Scored 2 runs, 20 strikeouts in his 37 at bats.
Always entertaining.
Just get people out.
Kennedy throwing him a breaking ball. Come on. 2-1 to Bartolo. Granderson on deck. Murphy behind him.
It seems like the Padres have never got a handle on what to do to make their uniform attractive. There's a strike.
So Colon is caught looking. Second strikeout for Kennedy. Well, I'd have to say that they've taken great strides forward since the old mustard and mud.
That uniform, actually, I like better than this uniform.
Really?
It's just kind of a blah blue. It's ugly.
But you like the brown and yellow?
There you go.
No, that's the old.
That's an old left-hander. He hung too many sliders late.
That's the old Padres logo.
Yes, that was not a good uniform right there. Can we see that last one again, Bill, real quick? That was a muy malo. That was the ugliest uniform right there.
Now it's merely a throwback. Granderson had a base hit, scored a run in the first, and he tries to lay off the curveball.
Oh.
And the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion, makes the call himself that he went around.
Wow. Tom. Oh, come on.
You got to at least ask for help there.
There's the defense in the pool again, and Curtis is a dead pull hitter.
Hit one up the middle his first time up. This time the shortstop Amarista a little closer to the bag. 1-2 to Granderson with Murphy to follow. Well, today, and for the moment, today only, Dice came out. Suzaka's back in the bullpen because it looks like John Neese is going to be ready to rejoin the rotation next week. So we're back to hatless Dice K, warming up early in the game. We saw that a lot earlier in the season. Neese threw a bullpen session today, pronounced himself good to go. So it looks like he'll pitch in the Seattle series. To the right side,
nice.
Smothering it is Gobert. Does he have time? No. Granderson beats it out. Jake Gobert going a long way to smother that ball, but Granderson gets the infield hit.
You always want your first baseman to be aggressive and go in the hole here.
And Kennedy wasn't anywhere near the bag anyway.
He overran the bag, actually.
He was reaching for it, trying to find it, and I don't think he had the ball and the bag at the same time. And Granderson beat it anyway. So Curtis is 2 for 2. So that gives him 5 hits in his last 6 at bats going back to Sunday. And now Murphy, who struck out his first time up. Murph tied for 3rd in the National League with 113 hits. And he takes the curveball letter high for a strike.
Yeah, nice curve he's throwing. That has been the weapon that has made him effective here in this season. It's a new pitch for Kennedy. He usually was a sinker slider pitcher.
Good block by Grandal. Ball and a strike.
I was talking to a scout before the game, and he said, you know, any given day, this Padre lineup could be no hit. There's a chance you can no hit this lineup.
Well, all you have to do to get a sense of what the Padres are all about, because their pitching has been spectacular. They're 2nd in the league in ERA, and their bullpen has been great. When they score 3 runs or more, the Padres are 33-13. Just 3 runs.
Yep.
They're 20 games over 500. But they don't do that very often. And that's why they find themselves 13 games under 500.
There's Bud Black. I never liked the bullpens that close. Should be a separation.
Fraternization?
You can't be talking to the opposing team. That's a fine. Let's take that a step further, Gary. When the Padres score 4 or more runs, they're 29-4.
So they get good pitching just about every day. But the Mets put 3 up against Kennedy in the first. And for Bud Black's team, you know, you don't know how this game is going to go, but 3 runs is a formidable deficit based on the way their offense has been performing.
Well, right now Kennedy hasn't got command of his curveball, and he's throwing it. He's trying to find it, and has been very inconsistent.
Slowing down his tempo here. Granderson at first and 1 out. He's taking off. Murphy hits one toward left center. Venable cuts over to get it, and Granderson will go back to first.
Good at bat by Murph. Nothing you can do. Nice line drive in the gap. I like when Murph drives the ball that left center field.
So 2 out. Now David Wright, who flied to center his first time up. David has 2 career home runs against Kennedy in just 16 at bats. This is not a great home run hitter's ballpark. It never has been. They moved the fences in last year significantly in center and in right. Moved them in 11 or 12 feet. Used to be 408. Now it's 396 to the deepest part of the park. And yet the ball still doesn't carry very well here at all.
You always get a breeze here. You're off the ocean, downtown San Diego. It's a beautiful ballpark, folks. If you ever have any opportunity to come out here and watch a ball game, you want to follow the Mets, I suggest you come here. The weather's spectacular. You got things to do during the day. The zoo is beautiful. It's just such a beautiful area. Good food. Can't beat it.
That check from the Chamber of Commerce that obviously didn't bounce. No, it's a spectacular place. The weather's perfect most of the year, and it's hard to beat. Right, fouls it away. The one thing about it, though, that's troublesome is they opened this ballpark in 2004, and the Mets have never fared very well here. They're 12-22 at Petco Park, which is the Padres' best record against any team in this ballpark. There goes Granderson. Wright takes outside. A double clutch by Grandal, and Granderson has the stolen base.
That is the 8th stolen base for Granderson. And he's on a pay. I think Curtis is going to pick it up, Gary, a little bit in the second half. Now, remember, he was in the cleanup spot early in the year, pretty much all the way. And I think now he's in the leadoff spot to stay. So he's going to steal more bases. That's his 8th, only caught twice. And Kennedy from the stretch. 3-1 fastball. That's always troublesome for me. See Wright miss a fastball count, 3-1, and seen him be seen him be too much tardy on his swing.
3-2 to David. And the curveball, a little bloop, and Nelson is there to pick it off and end the inning. So a base hit and 1 left. Colon heads back to the mound for the bottom of the second with the Mets up 3-0.
I had no idea your mic was
Second inning, Yasmani Grandal leads off against Bartolo Colon and takes a strike. Grandal, the former University of Miami star, who was limited to 28 games last year with injury and suspension. And he hasn't hit this year, hitting just .210 for the season. It's a broken record when you talk about this Padres team. Well, virtually everybody, with the exception of Seth Smith, has underperformed what they expected of him.
7 home runs, only 19 RBIs. That means he's hitting solos.
And not much else. Will Venable on deck, then Jake Gilbert for this rather no-name Padre lineup. 1-2. And Colon leaves it outside. A changeup, 2-2. Bartolo got the side out in order in the first inning, and the way things have been going for Colon, that in itself is a large accomplishment. 2-2. Fouled away. Well, you can see there's quite a gap between the Padres and everybody else as far as their team batting average is concerned. So, reason for the pitchers to smile when they come in here to San Diego. Matt Harvey with the team here in San Diego. Grandal lifts one to left center. Easy play for Neuenhuis. And he puts it away, 1 out. Get to Citi Field Friday, August 1st for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Giants at 7:10. All fans in attendance will receive a Mets t-shirt courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. For tickets, visit Mets.com/FreeShirtFridays. Now, Keith and I were not aware of this, but apparently in the last inning, my microphone was not working correctly.
And then Bill Webb is in my ear, our director, going, Keith, pick it up. And I go, what the heck are you talking about? Am I not doing my job here? Am I? And then he had to spell it out to me. Gary's mic is dead.
We couldn't tell that.
And I got very nervous.
Well, now there was a game that you and Ronnie did a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
where it was just the two of you.
Yes.
Did you get nervous that night too?
Yeah, I did. Play-by-play is a whole different ball of wax, Gary. You know that. Takes a lot of skill.
I thought anybody could do it.
I'm skilled in some areas, but
many. 2-1 to Will Venable. And he fights one off. Anyway, we're glad everything is back to normal now.
Yes.
Now they're telling us in the truck that it was really a false alarm and there was nothing wrong with my mic. They were just trying to mess with you.
No. Their speaker went down in the truck, but they heard me fine.
It's a big league operation, right? 2-2. There, he got him. Second strikeout for Colon, and he's retired the first 5.
Just the fastball. Swung right through it. Goodness.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now the rookie first baseman Jake Gilbert, just his 8th start. 26-year-old out of Northwestern, whom the Padres acquired in May from Oakland in a deal for Kyle Blanks, and he's late on the fastball.
See so many guys swing the bat today and fall over home plate. Fall over home plate. It's just, I think it's a lack of balance. It's something you don't want to do.
Isn't balance really the first thing that you want from whatever your batting stance is?
You shouldn't swing and fall over the plate. And I see a lot of it today. Tejada does it a lot.
Gilbert hits it out to shallow right. Granderson started back, now coming on. And that retires the side. So Colon, 2 perfect innings to start the night. On to the 3rd we go with the Mets up 3-0.
dipping into the Pacific Ocean. That's always been hard for me to get used to, Gary, being out east. I grew up watching the sun set whenever I wanted, and I'm not getting up at 5 in the morning to watch the sun come up.
Well, also you work in baseball where most of the games are in the evening. You're in the ballpark usually at sunset.
Yes.
Travis d'Arnaud on deck, then Kirk Neuenhuis as Lucas Duda leads off the third against his Southern Cal teammate Ian Kennedy, who hit him in the foot with a pitch his first time up. And that was really the key to that first inning. 2 out, 2 strikes on Duda, runner at first base. He hit Duda with a pitch, and then the inning tumbled downhill from there for Kennedy.
It was a breaking ball, curveball down and in, hit Duda's back foot.
Lucas with a late swing almost cued one over the bag. Nice kick save by Tim Tuffle.
Skate save. Tough.
Found the Met fan. Nice job, Tough. Duda apparently broke his bat on that last swing.
This downtown area was, back in the 70s, folks, was just Deadsville. There was nothing going on. It was almost like Skid Row down here. And this ballpark has just transformed the whole downtown area.
Well, the whole gas lamp district working away from the ballpark.
I can remember in the 70s as a rookie being told we used to stay over at the old Sheridan Harbor Island, which is right over by the airport. It's a stone's throw from here. And I remember George Kissel told me, don't go downtown. You don't want to go there if you're going on after a game.
3-2 from Kennedy, and Duda cracks one to the gap in right center field. That'll split him and go all the way back to the wall. So Lucas Duda continues his rampage, a leadoff double, and the Mets are going again in the third. 22nd double of the year for Lucas.
Good rip right here. Fastball down and in. Very good, Lucas. Ripped. This was a rocket. Throw Lucas downstairs, you're asking for trouble. This is a one hopper off that short hop defense. Ripped.
Good night, son.
Gary, it's time to go to bed. We'd like to stay up late tonight.
Gonna handle the rest of the night yourself? There's Travis d'Arnaud. First you turn off my microphone, now you're sending me to bed? It's just the first game after the All-Star break. Come on, let me stay up late, Dad. d'Arnaud had a base hit to drive and a run his first time up. That's now with 5 hits against Kennedy. And he hits this one to left center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Duda got a late read, so he'll stop at third. d'Arnaud now 2 for 2, and the Mets have runners at the corners and nobody out.
Well, d'Arnaud off hot. Curveball hanging. Lucas got a very poor read on this. He's got to score on this ball. Does everything right, but just tardy with the read. Got to know where your outfielders are. It's a big ballpark.
So now Kirk Neuenhuis, who drew a walk his first time up, has a chance to get a run home. First and third and nobody out. Padres already down 3-0, but they'll play at double play depth here. So a double play could bring in a run. And the curveball in for a strike.
Well, you think the book on Neuenhuis is a fastball hitter? Nothing but a steady diet of breaking stuff to Kirk.
Of course, what's interesting, Keith, is that prior trips to the big leagues, the good fastball would beat Neuenhuis, but not anymore. So 2 curveballs in a row, a ball and a strike. Juan Lagares waits on deck. Well, the Mets strafed Kennedy for 3 runs, 4 walks, 7 hits, and 5 1/3 first time they faced him last month. And off to a similar start against him tonight. He was going great guns when he got to Citi Field, and the Mets cooled him down. And they're doing it again. Late swing foul. 1-2 to Neuenhuis. Mets continue to operate with 6 outfielders on their roster, and it looks like they're not planning to change that equation anytime soon.
Well, they're not, because they're all producing. I mean, Campbell, what are you going to do with Campbell? Campbell's the odd man out to go down, but Campbell's been terrific.
Well, he's the 7th outfielder, so he doesn't even count in that equation. Curveball outside. And right now, he's your only backup infielder. So
precisely.
He's not going anywhere. It's an odd configuration, but what it's done is it's given the Mets more good options late in games, no matter who is in the lineup and who's out.
Well,
you know, as opposed to having a backup middle infielder who may not be able to produce off the bench. 2-2. Curveball topped. That'll get a run in. Nelson charges, gets the out at first, but Duda scores. Darno moves up a base, and the Mets lead 4-0. So NYN makes weak contact and produces a run.
NYN slips coming out of the box here too. Completely fooled on the curve. And he slips. So the Mets continue to do the little things. Offense looks like right now it's early, but it's picking up where they left off.
Well, the most important piece is contact. I mean, this is a team that was striking out in droves early in the season, and they're still have the 4th most strikeouts in the league, but they've gone 8 straight games going into the All-Star break, striking out 6 times or fewer. They haven't had a streak that long in 4 years.
You put it in play, something can happen. You strike out, you're making a U-turn back to the dugout. Nothing happens.
I mean, that last at bat was a classic example, right? You strike out on that pitch, you don't score. You make contact, even though it's poor contact, you get a run in. Even if you ground into a double play in that spot,
yes,
you get a run in.
So they're not letting Kennedy get his rhythm. He's trying to find his curveball. He hasn't found it. And you don't think what's going through his mind. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm down 4 runs. I'm probably going to lose this game.
Garris hit a pop fly single to drive in a couple of runs.
You're very kind. Actually, it's called a blooper, Garrett. Perfectly placed. You'll take them.
Whatever works.
Absolutely. Line drive in the paper tomorrow.
And now Kennedy behind him 3-0 with Tejada on deck.
He is really, really struggling.
Well, it's such a tough call for a guy like Bud Black with a pop gun offense. You know, it's the first start after the All-Star break. This is one of your better pitchers.
Well, you're trying
swinging 3-0.
You're going to try to give him a chance to get his rhythm and get pitch out of this. You know, but he's really, really struggling. I mean, think of the psyche of the psychology of this. If you're pitching and you got a team hitting 214 that can't score runs, you're down 4. It's like, oh boy, am I going to be a Larry in the paper tomorrow?
3-1. And Lagares fights that one off out to right field. Seth Smith is there to grab it for the second out. So 2-way. Darno still at second. All right, it's question time. Sunday on an all-new Jets Nation. Was Chris Johnson a smart signing by the Jets? And will he be content sharing the workload at running back? Plus, which rookie will have a bigger impact this season, Calvin Pryor or Jay Samaro? That's a lot of questions. The crew weighs in on Jets Nation Sunday at 7:30, only on SNY.
They're going to walk Tejada here. Now that's Ruben's 10th intentional pass.
Second in the National League behind Giancarlo Stanton. Certainly has helped with the resurgence in Tejada's on-base percentage.
Ruben's swinging a much better bat. As I've said countless times, he's got to be short and compact. Can't hit the ball in the air. And there they are right there.
Update that. Tejada now with 10. Well, once this at-bat is concluded. Now it's 10. our graphics people are very precise. They didn't want to give him credit for 10 until it was actually in the books. I think it's a good way to go. So here's Cologne with 2 out and 2 on. Bartolo took a call, 3rd strike his first time up. And he takes a first pitch strike.
What is the, of all the races in the National League, or the 3 divisions, which one is the most intriguing to you?
Most intriguing? Well, the Central, because you have 4 teams, who any one of which could win it at this point. Grandal coming back for a look, but that's going to be in the crowd.
I tell you what, I would keep my eye on the Pirates in that division. With that outfield they got now, they get some pitching. I'm not sold on Cincinnati. St. Louis, I think, has got problems, Gare. They got good pitching, but they got some issues.
Pittsburgh won tonight. Milwaukee won tonight. Cincinnati lost. Cardinals are leading 3-2 in the 8th against the Dodgers. Cologne down swinging. And that ends the inning, but the Mets add a run. 3rd strikeout for Kennedy. Mets up 4-0 in the 3rd. Bartolo Colon goes back to the mound with a 4-0 lead. He's gone perfectly through the Padres the first 2 innings. So he'll face the lower third of the San Diego batting order. Chris Nelson will get his first big league at bat this season. The former Rockies first-round draft pick has been bouncing around. Last year played for the Rockies, the Yankees, and the Angels. This year he was with the Reds. They let him go. The Padres signed him out of the minor leagues and just called up today to make his season debut.
And Bartolo Colon starts the 3rd inning here. He is 3 wins shy of a beautiful plateau, 200 wins.
Well, he's been stuck on 197 now for 3 straight starts, but off to a good beginning tonight. And facing a Padres lineup that has now gone 23 straight innings without scoring a run. They were shut out in their last 2 games before the break. In fact, the Dodgers beat them 1-0 Saturday and Sunday, and it wasn't even Kershaw and Greinke. It was Ryu on Saturday and Paul Maholm. So it's just they just have trouble generating anything right now. Mets beat the Padres 2 out of 3 at Citi Field in June. And Nelson drives one to right, but Granderson is there. 1 away. So 1 out and nobody on. Alexi Amarista coming up, and we check in with Kevin Burkhardt back from his first All-Star game. Kevin?
That is true. That is true. Thankfully, I didn't have to play. That wouldn't have gone very well. Gary, Keith, good to see you guys. You know, Monday is going to be a very special day for David Wright. It's his 10th anniversary in the big leagues, and, of course, 10th anniversary as a Met. And I spoke with Cliff Floyd the other day. Cliff, one of David's mentors and one of the guys that really kind of broke him into the big leagues. And Cliff said, I tell you what, a lot of guys come up. I remember, and these guys that come up with deer in the headlight look. He said David was different. He was quiet, he was confident, but just the way he acted, I could tell that, man, he already gets it. But there were a couple other things to it. For number one, he was probably the worst dresser I'd ever seen in my entire life. He said he had absolutely no swag whatsoever. He said then David on his answering machine, he had a message where, hello, this is David Wright. Cliff said, listen, man, you're not a lawyer. You got to change that. You got to do it a little differently. All kidding aside, Cliff did that to David, but it's something that Wright, that one goes foul. Something that Wright really appreciated. In speaking with David today, he said, you know what, without that kind of ribbing that Cliff and those guys did, Ty Wigginton did, I wouldn't have felt like I belonged, really. It was huge. He said the other thing is we always talk about the joking, but Cliff did things for me that, like, buy me my first real big league suit, take me aside and tell me different things. So it's that type of relationship that David now tries to pass on in his 10th anniversary. Gary.
Alexi Amarista, the first base runner for the Padres, just getting it by Murphy for a one-out single. Well, I remember those days when David first came up, and Cliff would rag him incessantly about his wardrobe, make him carry his bags.
We all have those stories. Red Shandies let us wear jeans on the plane, and I wasn't a dresser. You don't even have any money in the minor leagues, and I remember Sonny Siebert. I wore the same jeans like all the time. They had holes in them before holes were in.
Right.
And Sonny we had a terrible year. I forget what year it was. Probably '76. And we had the flight home after the last day of the season, and we were landing in St. Louis, and he got my pants and he ripped my pants to shreds as I was wearing them. So I got off the airplane. And I was like, just his pants were on me that were just from the mid-thigh down were all ripped to shreds. And Sonny said, I get tired of looking at you wearing the same jeans.
Well, the other guy who was a tremendous mentor for David in his early days was Joe McEwing, who really took David under his wing and kind of taught him, the way a big leaguer acts. But what Kevin says is right, though. When Wright got to the big leagues, even at age 21, he knew what was going on. I mean, I just remember him coming in the first day, and he had a press conference. Now, rookies don't have press conferences when they come to the big leagues, but it was a big deal. He was a big prospect, and the Mets weren't doing very well. But he handled himself like a 10-year veteran in front of the media at age 21. So you kind of knew that he was different.
Gary, Cliff had a good line. He said, the one thing that I loved about David was that he wanted to learn, even though a lot of it I felt like he already knew.
I think that's well put. I mean, he was raised right. He had a lot inside of him before he ever signed his first professional contract, to know how to handle himself.
It's amazing how time flies. I mean, I know it's kind of trite, but it's 10 years he's been here coming up.
Kennedy swinging on 3-2 and fouls it off.
Keith, it's funny. I was going to ask you about that, or you could speak to that, because when I was speaking to David about it today, he kind of was obviously beaming with pride about it, but he put on his shoes ever so slowly and said, man, I was told by those guys that enjoy it goes quick, and 10 years has really gone quick.
Kennedy trying to bunt on 3-2, and he fouls it off for strike 3. Third strikeout for Colon, and that's the second out of the inning.
So I stand corrected on Sonny Siebert. It was 1974 was the only year that Sonny Siebert pitched for the Cardinals. He was 8-8 that year. So that was my first year. I got called up in August.
So let's see. You first came up in 74. So by the time you had 10 years in the big leagues, you were in New York.
Yes. Correct. Very good. I didn't think of it in those terms. Yep.
Here's Seth Smith. Amarista diving back. I guess it's true in any endeavor in life. When you first start out, feels like things are going to last forever. And then 10 years does go by in a flash.
And then the next 10 years go by in a flash, and then most people are retired.
That one skips away from Duda. Amarista will head to second.
It's probably going to be an error in the throw. Let's see. Yes, and Lucas didn't really handle it well. Didn't get there. The ball is not in the dirt. I would give it an E3, to be honest with you.
They will charge the error to Colon, though. So a runner in scoring position for the Padres, who as a team are hitting 198 with runners in scoring position. Smith, who's been their best hitter this year, is hitting 176 with runners in scoring position.
They got a lot of guys on the interstate when the chips are on the line.
Down the left field line, slicing, foul.
Colon's got a real tiny mitt, doesn't he?
It's like one of those
second baseman's mitt.
One of those practice mitts they use, right?
It's tiny.
I wonder what kind of advantage that would be for him.
It's a small glove, correct?
Yeah.
It's like a second baseman's glove. Second basemans always have the smallest gloves because they've got to turn that double play, the pivot.
Colon ahead 0-2. Darno moves outside. Amarista takes off for third, and it's fouled off. I don't know what Amarista was thinking.
I don't know what he's thinking either. 4-0, 2 outs. I mean, what are you thinking?
It's not like he had a tremendous jump either.
And you got a hitter up there with 0-2 to distract. It's just, come on.
This time Tejada pays him a little mind. And Smith takes strike 3 call. So Colon gets Smith for the second time, his 4th strikeout tonight. After 3 in San Diego, 4-0 New York. Honda. 2 more games here in San Diego. Tomorrow night on Pix 11. Sunday back on SNY. Then to Seattle for 3 and Milwaukee for 4 to close out this long trip. 3rd time around the Mets batting order.
Well,
as you look at the vista post sunset. Granderson already 2 for 2 tonight. He's stolen a base. He scored a run. This time grounds one into the shift. And Chris Nelson throws him out for the first down. Granderson retired for the first time tonight. Here's Daniel Murphy. There's big news floating around here in San Diego as we get toward the trading deadline that it is just about a done deal that their closer Houston Street is going to the Angels. Something that's been rumored for days and apparently is coming close to fruition. So,
well, the Angels made a nice run at the All-Star break. They're the only team that played better than the Mets the last 10 games. They finished 9-1.
They now have the 2nd best record in the major leagues. The only team better is the team above them in their division, Oakland.
But they are a game and a half behind and very much on their heels. That's a very interesting race. There's Mr. Hallion.
He took the brunt of this.
Oh, squarely.
Well, the Angels have, an awesome lineup now with Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton. I mean, their starting pitching has been tremendous, but to add a piece like Street would be enormous for them. They've gone through a couple of closers this year. Most recently, they've had the former Met Joe Smith closing games. So to get a guy like Street, who's been practically perfect this year, that would be enormous for Anaheim. It's not going to help the Padre offense, though, unless they get major league players back. But you have to figure they're thinking long term, that this season's kind of a lost cause.
I think they're going to get minor leaguers.
Of course, the interesting part about that is, as we talked about earlier, the Padres do not have a general manager. They've got a 3-headed interim council that is running the show right now, presumably making that deal. And whoever gets hired as GM will inherit that. It's kind of an awkward situation.
There are lots of candidates up in the running. There was an article in the paper yesterday, a list of 8 individuals. One actually is the assistant general manager for the Yankees.
Well, it's been almost a month since they fired Josh Burns, so they certainly had plenty of time to figure this out. Murphy hits one out to left, and Carlos Quentin circles around it. 2 out. So Kennedy with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. He'll take on David Wright with 2 out.
Of note, Gary, Joe Torre's 74 years old today. Joe, happy birthday. Thank you for being so kind to me my rookie year when I came up in 74, we were just talking about. And also the late Roy McMillan, the former Met, who would have had a birthday today.
Roy was the shortstop for the Mets immediately preceding Bud Harrelson, and in fact was an interim manager for the Mets for a brief period of time. Two and 0 to Wright, who's 0 for 2 tonight, flied out and popped up. Lucas Duda would be next. Line the other way, foul. Nice knockdown by the ball boy. Or is that a ball girl? I believe it's a ball girl.
Well, whoever it is, he or she made a wonderful play.
It was a hot shot.
Yes, it was. Fearless. It's a female. Nice play.
Very nice. Two one from Kennedy, and slider misses away. 3-1 to Wright. Nothing has gone well for Ian Kennedy right from the start of this game. Curtis Granderson led off with a base hit. Mets got 3 first-inning runs, and here's Kennedy about to throw his 90th pitch coming in the 4th inning. And he walks David Wright. And the Mets have a 2-out base runner, and Kennedy is denied that first 1-2-3 inning.
Well, the Mets have kept the pressure on him. Got him early, and he hasn't been able to find his rhythm, and the horses may be out of the barn.
Well, Kennedy against the Mets now has walked 7 batters in 9 innings, which is really not him at all, but that's what he's done in the 2 starts against the Mets this year. He's also hit a batter tonight. That was Duda, his old college teammate. And then Duda ripped a double to right center against him his second time up. Lucas has scored 2 runs tonight, so he has picked up right where he left off before the All-Star break.
Lucas is settling in. Didn't happen right away when the trade when Davis was gone and the role was given to him. It's taken him a while, but I think he's much comfortable now and feels like he belongs. I can just see a whole different aura about him. He's emanating positive waves.
Should send him to Sedona. Never heard you quite so spiritual. Lucas gets crowded. And was that a foul ball? I guess so. David didn't know. The home plate umpire didn't give a signal.
Todd
Hallion just gave the signal now. Once Wright got to second base, he never signaled foul ball. Always helpful when the umpire lets people know. Of course, he got whacked in the face a few pitches ago, so maybe he just forgot. Let's see.
Oh,
it is a foul ball, but Hallion never makes a signal. Guess he figured everybody saw. So Wright is back on first base. There goes David, and Duda fouls it off. So with an 0-2 count and 2 out, Wright figures at worst he saves Duda in at bat next inning. Used to be. I saw a lot more of that. Running 0-2 with 2 out. The big hitter up.
you don't want to. Well, you don't want to take the bat out of his hand. I mean, Lucas is swinging hot.
Breaking ball got him. So Kennedy strikes out Duda. His 4th strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 4th in San Diego. Mets and Bartolo Colon up 4-0. Chase Headley leads off the home 4th inning for San Diego and swings at the first pitch from Bartolo Colon. Headley flied out to left his first time up. Quentin and Grandal to follow for the Padres, who've now gone 24 straight innings without scoring a run. It goes back to the last 3 innings of last Friday's game against the Dodgers. Headley out to center field. On Lagares is coming on, and he gets there for the knee-high catch. 1 out. Time for your Coors Banquet timeless moment. Not only 2 of the greatest hitters in baseball history together at Fenway Park in 1999, but 2 products of San Diego. Ted Williams, Tony Gwynn.
Well, the greatest hitter of all time, last guy man to hit 400. George Brett, Tony Gwynn came close. 400 is so difficult. I can't imagine. I can't even fathom it.
Tony had, what, 388 his best.
Brett had a great year.
390.
Right. I can't fathom 400.
Carlos Quentin, the batter. But you look at Williams and Gwynn together, and there are the numbers on Tony Gwynn's extraordinary career, 8-time batting champion. You know, you think of Williams and you think dead pull hitter. You think of Gwynn and you think opposite field hitter.
Right.
Is there a common thread that binds the best hitters together, even if their styles are that different?
No, I think that Tony Gwynn was a completely opposite hitter of Teddy. Ted was a dead pull hitter, stubborn, and you know he could have used the Ted Williams could have used the green monster, that short green monster, but he refused. He hit it to the deepest part of the park. Mm-hmm. That was the old thing. The old saying that if DiMaggio had played at Fenway and Williams played in Yankee Stadium, I mean, Williams, he lost all those years in the service, hit 512 home runs, I believe.
521.
521. It's, I think, clearly, if he doesn't lose those war years, and he served in the Korean War too, as well as World War II, he breaks Babe Ruth's record.
2-2 to Quentin, and it's low and away. They had such great respect for each other, though, you know.
Oh, yes.
Gwynn and Williams. No, because Ted was very feisty when he talked about hitting. He believed his way was the best way.
Was the only way.
Right.
McCovey was the closest thing to Ted Williams.
Colon strikes out Quentin. Strikeout number 5 for Bartolo.
Well, I played against this guy so many times over the years, and he was a beauty.
There was that 5.5 hole. It took Sid through the 5.5 hole. That was his spot.
Tony Gwynn was hit a lot like Rod Carew.
By the way, he was also a Gold Glove outfielder early in his career. Could steal bases.
Right. Everybody, you always remember someone late in his career when Tony put on some weight. I played against Tony, and this is just at end of inning when Tony was in shape and stole bases.
1-2-3 go the Padres against Colon in the 4th, and the San Diego drought continues. 4-0 Mets after 4. George Brett went ballistic in the Bronx. This week, relive the best sports stories from 1983 on, oh yeah, presented by Cheapo Air. Is that for real? Cheapo Air? Wow. New episode Sunday at 10, only on SNY. And there's the great Tony Gwynn. We were just looking at some of Tony's numbers.
Yes.
790 walks, 434 strikeouts in his career.
So the walks are down, are not very many.
Right.
So that means when he hit 394, that strike,
94, right?
And then 94. You get a walk in there, you mix it in, you get a 1 for 3. He didn't walk a lot, so he's getting 2-3 hits, a lot.
Well, he never struck out more than 40 times in a season.
That's awesome.
Stole as many as 56 bases in a season.
He could do it all when he was young and in shape. And like you said, the Gold Gloves, 5, had a strong, accurate arm. He could do it.
15-time All-Star. Travis d'Arnaud is 2 for 2 tonight. Single to center, single to left center. Ian Kennedy just trying to get through 5. High pitch count through 32 pitches in the first inning when he gave up 3 runs. Mets tacked on a run in the third. d'Arnaud had the first RBI for New York. So pitch number 100 coming up for Kennedy. And d'Arnaud laces one. Caught. That one had a lot of knuckle on it, and the shortstop Amarista stayed with it for the first out. And some other notes on Tony Gwynn. Struck out twice in the game, only 34 times in over 2,400 games. 8 batting titles.
Wow.
And, the numbers don't do justice just what Tony Gwynn meant to this city. He was born here. He went to college here, played his entire major league career here. In every respect, he was baseball in San Diego. Kirk Neuenhuis has walked, grounded out to drive in a run, and he takes a curveball for a strike.
So Kirk is still getting the breaking stuff.
It's jammed and pops one up. Rondal for a look, but that's out of play. And of course, the other thing about Gwynn, he's the nicest man in the world. I mean, every stranger was a friend. He would sit down and talk to people for hours on end, just because he liked it.
And he was a part of the National League Championship team that lost to Detroit in '84. They beat the Cubs, miraculously beat the Cubs. Big fold for the Cubbies.
And of course, he was still around in '98 when Padres played the Yankees in the World Series. Nelson throws out Neuenhuis for the second out. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, '98, he was toward the end of his career. He was fading. He had 321 that year.
You remember, they had Tony Gwynn hitting third and Dave Winfield hitting cleanup.
In '84.
That was a Winfield was really Gary. Oh my goodness, Gary. You know what?
Did that guy carry that all the way across the country?
You're big.
Think about that.
Gary, you're big.
Getting bigger all the time, I guess. Fathead now. Lagares takes a strike. I saw one of Kevin earlier, so I'm sure your image has to be somewhere close behind. We always travel together. Headley with the overhand throw. Gets Lagares. Kennedy has his first 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway through in San Diego. Mets up 4-0. Well, Venable leads off the home 5th inning against Bartolo Colon, who has cruised through the first 4. Former Met Del Thayer, first man up in the San Diego bullpen, with Ian Kennedy having thrown 105 pitches through 5 innings. Venable struck out his first time up. Padres have had just one base runner. Alexi Amarista on an 0-2 pitch. It went up the middle just past a diving Daniel Murphy for a single in the 3rd, and that's been it. In at the knees, and it's 1-2 to Venable. Well, still hatless. Dice came out Sasaka back in the bullpen today and making sure he's fully ready if needed. Colon can't field it, and it's up the middle. A base hit for Venable. Just the 2nd Padre hit.
Fastball away. Just didn't get the glove up in time.
Mostly trying to make sure he didn't get hit in the face. Got his head out of there, and Venable is aboard. So a leadoff base runner for the Padres for the first time tonight. They're trying to snap a scoreless string that's now reached 25 innings.
It's an exercise in futility.
Jake Gobert flied out to right his first time, and he fouls off the first offering. Gives us a chance to look at the Jeep 5th inning recap. Bartolo Colon right on top of things. Mets scored 3 in the first, 2 of them on a blue pit by Juan Lagares, the other on a Travis d'Arnaud hit. And the Mets were off and running against Ian Kennedy. They hit early against Kennedy the last time they faced him and did it again tonight. And cooled off what had been a very hot pitcher. By the way, speaking of hot pitchers, the reports are flying in that the Houston Street to the Angels deal is done and that it will be announced after the game tonight, and that Street is not available for the Padres as a result. Of course, if the Padres stay behind in this game, it's not the kind of game Street would have pitched in anyway. Gobert takes it up and away. Gobert was first drafted by the Astros, 13th round in 09. Went to Oakland in a minor league deal and then on to San Diego in May. He's been up with the Padres for about a month, making his 8th big league start tonight. And Colon finds the inside corner. That's a nice pitch, 2-2.
That's that fastball he likes to throw to lefties. It starts out at the like it's going to hit you in the knees right there, and then comes back on the inside corner. He's got great command with that. It's a very effective pitch.
Venable at first. Gobert pops it up. That should go out of play.
You see so many hitters today under balls upstairs. They all drop the back shoulder. And they want to lift, and as a result, a pitch that's the easiest pitch in the world to hit, you can't get on top. That wasn't so bad, really. That ball up over the middle and or out on the outer half of the plate or outside corner is meat and potatoes. Should be.
Well, especially for a guy like Gobert, who's not considered a home run hitter. He's considered more of a line drive hitter.
Right.
Let you know you're 35 at bats deep in your big league career, and you're not exactly sure what you are.
I hear you.
3-2 to Gobert. Venable at first. Pretty good speed. He's running, and it's ball 4. First walk given up by Colon, and the Padres have some life here in the 5th.
Well, Colon unflappable will show no emotion, but I know inside right now he is not pleased with himself.
So now Chris Nelson, his first big league at bat of the season, he drove the ball to right field, and Granderson caught it to lead off the 3rd.
Well, slight shade of the opposite field in the outfield, straight up on the infield, double play depth.
Colon has walked 1. He struck out 5, allowed just 2 singles tonight.
He's starting to miss a little bit, and this is unusual, and he's in a hot streak. His last 6 games, Colon has not walked a right-hand batter. That's 78 at-bats. Now going into the game, 78 at-bats. He hasn't walked a right-hander. His 5 walks have been to left-handers. Now make that 6.
And now 2-0 to Nelson.
All of a sudden, he's lost it.
Came into the night with the best walk ratio in the National League, 1.3 walks per 9 innings. But all of a sudden, a walk to Gobert, a 2-0 count to Nelson. The number 8 hitter Amarista on deck. And Colon needing to readjust. The runners go. Nelson takes outside, and it's a double steal.
Wow.
Venable got a big break off second. Gobert followed. Venable's 5th steal, Gobert's 1st.
Well, I guess when you have trouble scoring runs, even if you're down, you'll try anything. And that's ball 3, too, I believe.
Yep. So now 2 in scoring position, the infield back. And there's finally a strike to Nelson. So the Padres certainly poised to break that 25-inning scoreless streak. Number 8 hitter Amarista on deck, and then they'll almost certainly bat for the pitcher Kennedy, who did not have his best day at the office. 3-1 coming, and Nelson takes a strike, 3-2.
2 paints on the outside corner knees. Straight fastballs, Gary. He's not getting over that little sinker or that ball that likes to wrap around the inside corner, so he's going over his 4-seamer straight for control.
Spot where he'd love to get a strikeout. Hit sharply, base hit for Nelson. Venable scores. Gobert stops at third against Lagares' strong arm. Chris Nelson with his first hit as a Padre drives in a run, and for the first time since last Friday, San Diego able to congratulate somebody who scored. 25 innings without a run. That's now broken, and it's 4-1.
Nice hitting by Nelson. Fastball away. Came back inner half, belt high, stayed nice and level. Ripped it up the middle, and when you're down 3 runs, you're not going to challenge the arm of Senor Lagares.
So a run is in. Now it's 4-1. And here's Amarista, who had the first Padre hit, a single up the middle in the 3rd. Gobert now at 3rd, Nelson at 1st. Nobody out. And Amarista hits it to shallow left. On comes Neuenhuis. He'll have to play it on a hop. In to score comes Gobert. It's an RBI single for Amarista. Now it's 4-2. Just a little dunk shot at the left. Neuenhuis was playing shallow, but not shallow enough.
Sinker down and away off the end of the bat. Mets got one of those earlier off the bat of Lagares in the 1st inning, but had 2 runs in it. This one has 1. Now, you could, if you're Bud Black, stay with your pitcher, Kennedy, but he's had so many pitches, he's going to stay with his pinch hitter.
Brooks Conrad will come up to pinch hit, the former Atlanta Brave. See, Conrad has struggled mightily. He had a year for the Braves a few years ago where he was just unstoppable as a pinch hitter.
But was exposed with his glove.
Yep. Conrad now 34 years old. Danny Eveland quickly on call in the Mets bullpen as Colon, who had been sailing through the first 4 innings, finds nothing but trouble here in the 5th. 2 runs in, tying runs on base. Conrad the pinch hitter. And he takes the strike. Del Thayer's been throwing in the San Diego bullpen. It was in 2010 that Brooks Conrad had that great year coming off the bench for Atlanta. Had 8 home runs and just 156 at-bats. But he's kicked around since then. Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, and now, after not playing at all in the big leagues last year, with the Padres. A ball and a strike. Nelson now at second. Amarista the tying run at first. 2 runs home in the inning with nobody out.
I don't know why David is playing in at third base on the cut of the grass.
And the slider in for a strike, 1-2.
Well, 3 straight sliders from Colon. First time he's broke out the slider here.
Seth Smith, the on-deck batter. We'd love to get the ground ball from Conrad and get a couple of outs. 1-2 coming. And he grounds it foul. Started with a base hit by Venable that just sailed past Colon's glove, and then the walk to the rookie Gobert. Double steal, a base hit by Nelson for 1 run, and a blue pit by Amarista for another.
4 straight sliders to Conrad.
Again, the 1-2. On the inside corner, he got him looking. So he never threw him a fastball. And Colon finally gets the first out of the inning, his 6th strikeout.
Well, the fastball's here. And there's that fastball that starts inside and bleeds out over the inside corner. He can paint it. Tied him up.
So 1 out. Now Smith, who's been up twice and struck out both times, swinging in the first, looking in the third. Nelson at second, Amarista at first, and 1 out. And a fastball strike.
Interesting. Colon has to stop the bleeding, and all of a sudden his control issues are gone. He's not out of the woods yet. He's got 2 outs to get, but he's got his form back.
The ability to self-correct.
I mean, you think about it, the hit off Amarista's bat that scored the 2nd run was just a blooper and a sinker on a in a good spot.
Throws that fastball 91 up, and by Smith, 0-2.
Chased here. Not a strike.
Well, Colon has already struck out Seth Smith twice tonight. Slow ground ball. They'll have to settle for the play at first, and Colon gets over to cover for the 2nd out. So now runners in scoring position with 2 out, and a base hit could tie it with Chase Headley coming up. Headley's been up twice, flied out both times to left and to center. So the first inning in which Colon has had to do any kind of heavy lifting. 2 runs in, and Colon trying to keep it right there.
Well, we talked about the interlocking grip that Headley's gone back to. And there it is right there. You can see it like a golfer.
That's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very unusual. And you can see that pinky on the top hand in between his middle finger and his right hand, his index finger. Wow. Don't think I'd like that. Strange.
It seemed to restrict you in some fashion,
Well,
wouldn't
yeah.
it? But if he was using that 2 years ago when he drove in 115 runs, you can understand why he would want to go back to it. I mean, he had that remarkable season with the Padres. He was an MVP candidate. He won a Gold Glove. There's Houston Street, who every report seems to indicate is going to be traded at the end of tonight's game.
So they haven't notified him. He can go home.
Well, he's not going too far. Heading from San Diego up to Anaheim. It's a fairly short drive.
I'm sure he'll be quite happy going to a team that is contending for a division.
Angels are home against Seattle tonight, leading 2-0 in the 6th, looking for their 6th straight win. 2-1 to Headley. And that just missed. 3-1.
Well, you got Carlos Quentin in the on-deck circle hitting under 200. I think you're going to be careful with a hot hitting left-hander in Headley, who's been swinging a hot bat.
Nelson at third, Amarista carrying the tying run at second with 2 out. 3-1 to Headley. And it's a strike. Full count. Thirty-second pitch of this inning now for Cologne. 3-2. Nubbed into left. That's a base hit, and that's going to tie the game. Nelson scores. Amarista right behind him. A 2-run single for Chase Headley. The Padres, after going 25 innings without a run, have scored 4 in the 5th to even this game.
Nice hitting here by Headley. That's a good pitch. I'm sorry, that's outside corner, knee high. I bet you Cologne's telling himself, I should have pitched him in. That's just, you got to tip your hat there. That's hitting it right where it's pitched. A base hit was all that's needed. We got a brand new ball game.
So the Padres, who looked positively inept offensively for the first 4 innings, put together a 4-run 5th. And now Quentin takes a strike. Quentin has grounded out and struck out tonight, 0 for 2. 4 hits and a walk, a double steal interlaced in there, helping to produce the 4 runs. So what looked like a walk in the park for Cologne has turned into anything but.
He retired the first 12 out of 13 batters. It's cruising.
Well, it just struck midnight in New York. Not saying that he's turned into a pumpkin, but something changed. Yasmani Grandal on deck. Quentin, the 8th man up in this inning. And he lines one to David Wright, who's playing right on the line. And that retires the side. But the Padres get even with 4 runs on 4 hits. After 5, tied at 4. Austin Street is going to be traded as soon as today's game is over. He's just headed out to the bullpen. And he's not leaving, at least not for the moment. Del Thayer will come on to pitch for the Padres as we go to the 6th inning. Ruben Tejada, first man to face him. And Ruben takes low and away for ball one. Chris Young has come out on deck to pinch hit for Colon, who had himself a miserable time of it at the bottom of the 5th.
He's not happy. He's going to be pinch hit for. And that's the first time I've seen him a little bit miffed. And not because he's being taken out of the game. He's mad at himself for that 4-run inning.
So Chris Young on deck to pinch hit for him. Granderson after that. Thayer on in relief of Ian Kennedy went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and is now off the hook. And Thayer immediately falls behind his first hitter, 3-0. Del Thayer, who pitched for the Mets briefly in 2011, has become a much better pitcher since. See what he's done this year. 3rd year with the Padres. Did some closing for them a couple of years ago. And that's ball 4. He walks Tejada on 4 pitches to lead off the inning. Let's check in with the studio. Kareth Burke standing by for a game break brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealers. Kyle Oesch getting the win in that game. Gave up 10 hits in 7 innings, but no walks, and that's his game. So the Braves, who won tonight against the Phillies, are back in first place by a game. Here's Chris Young. And he takes a strike. Mets have 2 left-handed bats on the bench tonight, and Eric Young and Bobby Abreu, but this early in the game against a predominantly right-hand San Diego bullpen.
They've only got 1 left-hander.
Right. Terry's going to use Chris Young in this spot and save the other guys for later. And they're really having trouble throwing strikes. This is low with a slider. Young had the big 2-run pinch hit home run last Saturday that brought the Mets back against Miami. Danny Evelyn will pitch for the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. And Chris pulls one just foul. Certainly has hit some balls a little harder lately.
He pulls a lot of balls foul.
Well, there is the lone lefty in the San Diego bullpen, Alex Torres, getting up. Tejada at first and nobody out. 1-2 to Chris Young. And he lays off the slider. 2-2. And Chris takes strike 3 call. Fastball on the outside corner for the first out.
You got it, Gary. On the corner. Boy, he's always. Thayer's always had that Fu Manchu, the big full. That's a full Fu.
Full Fu? No halfway Fu.
It is a monster.
It's something beyond a Fu Manchu, I think. It almost looks like he has. Remember the old mutton chop sideburns? It looks like he has those.
He looks like Chester A. Arthur.
Very good.
That's a great call.
Our 21st president. It's a different look. It's a little like Goose Gossage had at one point in his career.
But it's fuller than that. So, not an outing that Bartolo is going to be happy with.
Well, the first 4 innings were terrific. The last one, not good at all. 1-1 to Granderson, who's 2 for 3 tonight.
Nice changeup right there from Thayer, something he didn't have as a Met. He was strictly a sinker slider pitcher. It's a new weapon for him. Got Curtis out front.
This is going in the right direction. Out to left. Moving Quentin back a few strides. And that's the second out. And Tejada back to first. So Thayer, after a leadoff walk, is retired too. And now Daniel Murphy. Murphy's 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out, line to center, and fly to left. Mets 4 runs and 6 hits. The Padres 4 runs and 5 hits. A game in which the Mets had a 4-0 lead. Interesting that Colon went down the tunnel. Most pitchers stick around to see whether maybe their team can get them a run before they take their exit.
Colon marches to his own beat.
Hit sharply, but Nelson's right there to play it. After a small bobble, throws out Murphy. And so it will be a no decision night for Bartolo Colon as Thayer works around a leadoff walk. Mets will go to the bullpen for the bottom of the 6th when we come back. August 2nd for Fireworks Night, presented by Dwayne Reed, following the Mets game against the Giants at 7:10. For tickets, visit Mets.com/fireworks. That's the first place Giants, by the way. They moved back into first tonight. They won, the Dodgers lost. Your AT&T fan photo for tonight. We thank Ben and the Pooch.
Very nice.
Danny Evelyn will come on in relief for the Mets.
And Evelyn called up June 1st. Has allowed only 1 run in his last 12 innings. I think Terry Collins has used him very judiciously. There's 2 left-handers in this inning that are going to be plated. That's why he's in.
Yasmani Grandal leads off. He's flied to left twice tonight. He takes a strike. Got the left-hand hitter Venable on deck and another in Gobert behind him. So Colon went 5, allowed 4 runs, 5 hits, a walk, 6 strikeouts, and a no decision for Colon tonight. Has to be a big disappointment after being handed an early 4-0 lead.
Well, you want your ace, or you feel as your ace, when you get him 4 runs, you want him to go to the bank with it.
I don't know. Do you look at Colon as being the Mets ace?
Well, who do you call the ace? Neese?
Neese?
Neese has got to stay healthy for me to be the ace.
Well, that's the ace, but he's hurt.
Well, next year.
2-2 to Grandal. I mean, right now, if you had to pick next year's opening day starter, I think it's that guy.
Wheeler?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we got a whole second half to see how Mr. Wheeler does. He's pitched. Hit him.
So Eveland on a 2-2 pitch nails Grandal, and now the go-ahead run is on base.
Well, one thing about Josh, excuse me, that was a slider that got away. Zach, excuse me, is that his control has been much better his last 3 or 4 starts.
I just think he's evolved into what the Mets expected him to be. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be bumps along the way.
I've always said in the booth that he gets his secondary pitches over, he's lights out, but he's got to show me more consistency.
Here's Venable, and he's looking to sacrifice and fouls it off. Interesting call in the 6th inning. Venable got the whole thing started for the Padres in the 5th with a base hit up the middle. Venable's a guy who last year had 22 home runs, had a career year, and this year he has 2 home runs, and he's barely hitting over 200.
Hitting .225 against left-handers, only .196 against right-handers.
Let's see if he's still bunting here. Wright is in on the grass at third. He's ready to swing, and it's 0-2.
Well, Eveland has dropped his point of delivery down a little more 3/4 on his breaking stuff, and it's been very effective against left-hand hitters.
Dana pitched in Korea last year. Signed a minor league deal with the Mets. Saw him a couple of times during spring training, and he wasn't all that effective. But that drop in arm angle happened while he was down in Vegas, and it has certainly served him well, and he's been part of the resurgence of the Mets bullpen.
He's a big guy.
1-2 to Will Venable. Easy play for Lagares. And that's the first out of the inning. So 1 out and 1 on, and now Jake Gobert, who drew a walk in that big 5th inning and then stole his first base in the major leagues.
There's
Big Black getting up in the Mets bullpen.
I just don't like the configuration of those bullpens. It's like Philadelphia, where the bullpens one's above the other. They should be separated. It's the enemy. You're opposing teams.
Get more and more ballparks where it's like that. I mean, at Citi Field, they're side by side. They can communicate there too,
right,
if they wish.
I'm sure it's all about seating, better viewing for the fans, getting more seats that are good seats.
Gobert takes a slider off the plate, 1-1.
The second at bat off a left-hander for Gobert.
And Eveland feeds him another slider, that one for a strike.
I'll say one thing, Eveland can paint that slider. He's dropped his arm, and it hasn't been anything that's been tough for him to control. He has been spot on.
Here's the 1-2. Fouls off the slider. Eveland's a guy who's worked in every role in his career. He had a year with Oakland when he made 29 starts for them. That was back in 08. Started out with Milwaukee. He's now been with 8 different big league teams. Again, the 1-2. Might be 2 if they hurry. Murph with the turn. Tejada's return to first, not in time. Just a little bit too much bounce on that grounder.
Well, Murph does everything he can possibly do. A good feed. Gobert runs pretty well down that line. You can see him right there. He runs pretty well.
So that keeps the inning alive. Gobert at first and 2 out. And now Chris Nelson, who drove in the first Padre run in that 4-run fifth, snapping a 25-inning drought for San Diego.
There's the stretch from Duda. Clearly beat the throw. Half a step.
Nelson's hit the ball solidly twice in his first big league game of the season. Lined out to right, then had that base hit up the middle. Chris Nelson began his career as a first-round draft pick by the Rockies. Started out in rookie ball in Casper, Wyoming in 2004, and his roommate was Eric Young Jr.
Casper, Wyoming.
That's some long bus trips out there.
Oh boy.
Was it the Pioneer League? Is that what it is?
I think it is.
Where you have those 22-hour bus rides.
It's like Big Sky up there.
Big sky and long roads. Oh, and 2 to Nelson. Oh, 2. Slider down, 1 and 2. Blaine Boyer is up in the San Diego bullpen, one-time Met.
Another ex-Met.
Show me fastball from Evelyn. It's 2 and 2. Vic Black ready if needed. 2-2 coming to Nelson. Slider hit in the air. Shallow right. Murphy out. And gets there. Side retired. Evelyn works around the leadoff hit by pitch. And that sends us off to the 7th. David Wright to lead off for New York in a 4-4 game. It was after Garfield. David Wright leads off the 7th inning against Dale Thayer. David 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. All that against Ian Kennedy. Now it's Wright, Duda, and d'Arnaud against Thayer, who starts his 2nd inning of work. And he falls behind on Wright 2-0. That's 4 runs and 6 hits. The Padres 4 runs and 5 hits. And Wright watches low and away. And Thayer, who walked Tejada on 4 pitches to start the 6th inning and then got the next 3 hitters, falls behind his first batter 3-0 again. And David takes a strike. Didn't think so. 3-1.
Well, Thayer's got kind of a roller coaster type motion. He's got a lot of movement. He slings it too, so it's hard for him, I think, with command.
Right back to Thayer, but it's off his glove, deflecting to Nelson, and he throws right out. Nice recovery by Nelson, who had to change direction, and they get the 1-4-3 putout.
Well, nice play by Nelson. Comes in hard, the charge on a throw on the run, gets David. Nice play.
That's going to be all for Thayer, with the left-hand hitter Duda coming up. They'll bring in the lone lefty out of that San Diego bullpen. Alex Torres will be coming in to face Duda. 4-4 game in the 7th. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon. Torres comes in for the Padres. We'll be right back. Alex Torres comes out of the bullpen for San Diego. Torres, the lone lefty in that San Diego pen. The former Tampa Bay Ray has done a very nice job for the Padres. Lucas Duda, his prey, and Duda skies the first pitch to left field. And Carlos Quentin squeezes it. 1 pitch for Torres, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin.
Well, he has done a very nice job, but everyone talks about, when you see him for the first time, the protective hat that he's wearing. And, you know, it's interesting. I was polling the Mets pitchers today, Gary, if they had given it thought this year when it was presented to them, and if they would give it thought going forward. And really most of the answers were the same. It was a comfort thing. And it's not only the comfort on the head now, it's what they've been wearing for such a long time. You know, Dylan G said, you know, I give him a lot of credit for going out and breaking the mold. He said, but, you know, I don't want to be vain here, but, you know, you feel good, you look good, you play good. He said, the other thing for me is I can't guard against everything in life. He said, I don't even know if that would really help if a line drive is coming back at you like that. Zach Wheeler had similar thoughts. Carlos Torres said, you know, to me, it would be a distraction. I'd be thinking about it, and I wouldn't want it to be taken away from my pitching. So no Mets wearing it right now, none currently going to wear it, and we'll see how this plays out. If this design gets any smaller, if other pitchers decide to jump on board.
Yeah, Kev, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's anybody else in baseball wearing it right now.
Yeah, he's the only one, Gary. You're right.
And, you know, you understand his motivation. I mean, he saw Alex Cobb get hit in the head while they were teammates in Tampa Bay, and that was his motivation. Travis d'Arnaud 2 for 3 tonight. He drives this one toward the left field line. Quentin going over and makes the catch. Quentin running on that bad left knee, able to get over and take a base hit away from d'Arnaud. 7th inning stretch, still tied at 4. By Verizon. Enter today for a chance to watch the Mets take batting practice on the field when you visit the Verizon studio at Citi Field or Mets.com/Verizon. By Hyundai. Hyundai leaves the rest wanting. Find out why by visiting BuyHyundai.com today. And by Cholula Hot Sauce. The hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap, available in original flavor, chili lime, chili garlic, and chipotle. Danny Evelyn starts his 2nd inning of work as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Alexi Amarista takes a slider for a strike. Amarista 2 for 2. He had the first Padre hit, a 1-out single in the 3rd, and then drove in a run with a base hit in the 5th.
And David in tight, and so is Duda. It's kind of in nowhere's land, backing off.
Amarista floats one down the left field line, and that'll fall for a base hit. Takes a hard turn, heads for second. Neuenhuis with the throw, and he's out! Neuenhuis guns down Amarista. Daniel Murphy a little shaken up on the play at second base, but a terrific one-hop strike from Neuenhuis to get Amarista.
And I don't blame Amarista for trying for 2 here, and I thought it was going to be a lot closer. Just beautiful throw right on the money and got him dead to rights.
What happened to Murph on that play?
Let's see.
up against his knee. He probably slid into that left knee. Yeah, that's the knee they probably got hurt.
He's had both of them hurt. But he appears to be okay. So it's a hit for Amarista, making him 3 for 3 on the day, but a 7-4 putout, huge. The first out of the 7th. Now Tommy Medica is up to pinch hit. Medica was banged up right before the All-Star break. He had a groin injury. They thought they might have to put him on the disabled list, but apparently he is good to go, at least to pinch hit. By the way, for the Mets, that is their 27th outfield assist of the season, the most in the major leagues. And that's with Juan Lagares having, what, 2 after picking up 15 last year?
Well, a lot of speed here, and I don't blame him for giving it a shot. Nice play by Neuenhuis. And something we haven't really talked about, Gary, is since Lagares has been back, it has been really just obvious how much he means defensively. And with Neuenhuis in left,
Wright plays the long hop and throws that Medica 2 away.
it just, the defense is it's such an overlooked part of the game, and it can win you ball games.
Well, we saw it last year. I mean, when the Mets went to playing Lagares full time and they went to playing Eric Young more frequently in left field, the whole team got better. And it's happened again when Lagares is in the lineup. There's just so much less to worry about. 2 out and nobody on. Here's Seth Smith, who's 0 for 3. Struck out twice and grounded out. And after a point earlier in the season when Lagares was part of an outfield rotation, it's not the case anymore.
No.
Now he's cemented as an everyday player.
Well, he got off to the hot start offensively, and that was it.
Kevin Quackenbush is up in the San Diego bullpen.
And that's not to be confused with Dr. Quackenbush of Groucho Marx.
That's Hackenbush. 2-0. Smith.
Was he that character in Day at the Races? I think it was Day
That's
at the Races.
One, yeah. Big block on call in the Mets bullpen, but it looks like Evelyn will try and finish off this inning. It's a slider over on 2-0. Hugo Z. Hackenbush was the Groucho character.
It was Hackenbush?
Hackenbush. I think it was supposed to be Quackenbush, but they changed it because there was a famous Dr. Quackenbush and they didn't want to have him.
Well, he was a hack anyway.
Well, anyway, worked perfect.
He's told the horse to take 2 and call me in the morning.
Want some Tootsie Fruitsy ice cream? Here's the 3-1 from Evelyn, and Smith takes a slider for a strike. Full count. Evelyn not afraid to throw that slider on any count. It has really become his bread and butter. Three-2 to Smith, and a slider fouled off. Let's check out tonight's Verizon trivia question. Which player in Mets history had the highest post-All-Star break batting average in one season? Second half, whiz.
I remember I had a good second half one time. I was hitting almost 250 at the All-Star break.
You think you might be the answer?
I don't know, but I know.
Sometimes you're the answer. Lagares squeezes Smith's fly ball. We'll have to figure that out.
I wound up hitting over 300 that year. I had a great finish.
We'll put you in the hopper.
Not too hot.
Quackenbush will be the 4th San Diego pitcher of the night.
25-year-old attended the University of South Florida, where he set a school record for relievers with a .80 earned run average in 2011. And you look at his minor league numbers, they are off the charts. 3 years in the minors, and here he is, rookie season in the big leagues, tearing it up. What a year.
Well, the Padres have one of the best bullpens in baseball, and it is in play now. Del Thayer and Alex Torres combining to blank the Mets in the 6th and 7th. Now Kirk Neuenhuis, who made that terrific throw on Amarista, leads off in the 8th and takes a fastball for a strike. J.R.'s Familia, next man up in the Mets bullpen. 2 strong innings of relief for Dana Evelyn for the Mets. Neuenhuis, Lagares, and Tejada for the Mets in the 8th. Each team with 4 runs and 6 hits.
That's the pitch that Neuenhuis has got to lay off, Gary. Remember when he was last year, when he went south, he started chasing that pitch upstairs. That's a tough pitch for him to handle up and in. It's a tough pitch for most hitters. I didn't like it there. You've got to learn to discipline yourself to take it. And where do you learn to discipline that? In batting practice, you focus on not swinging at that pitch. There's
Quackenbush gets him with a splitter. 3 pitches and Neuenhuis is gone.
Well, 2 straight fastballs, quick work, and a split finger. Look at that. That's wicked. I'm sorry.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Juan Lagares. And as this game moves along, you know, we've been telling you all night that the word is that Houston Street is going to be traded after the game. They're going to announce it after the game. So the question is, can the Padres use him tonight?
If it's official, won't they usually announce it on the screen?
Well, they have not announced the trade, and he's still in a Padre uniform, and he's still there. He is out there in the bullpen. So I guess it depends on that's Willie Blair, the bullpen coach for the Padres, along with Street. It depends what the Padres and Angels have agreed to. And I don't know the answer to that. All I know is he's in a Padre uniform and he's out in the bullpen. So whether they can use him or not, I guess remains to be seen.
Has it been officially announced?
No,
okay.
And they're not going to announce it till after the game. At least those are the reports. Lagares 1 for 3 tonight. Drove in 2 runs with a bloop single back in the first. Ruben Tejada on deck. Rookie Quackenbush out of the University of South Florida. He's been very, very good. This is with a breaking ball, and it's 2-2. This is how good the Padre bullpen has been. When they lead after 7 innings, they're 30-1. That's lockdown. Down the right field line, slicing away foul.
Well, they're 11-8 with a 2.56 earned run average coming into this game. That would say the first half of the season. 284 and 2/3 innings. 281 strikeouts. So they're a strikeout staff. Opponent's batting average 208.
Of course, Street the leader, and Joaquin Benoit has been untouchable as the setup guy. And then you go deeper into the bullpen with guys like this. Chopper down to third, and Headley the overhand throw to get him. 2 out. You can win a trip for 4 to Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll enjoy the action and fun of 2 amazing theme parks, plus stay on site at the new Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort. Just go to sny.tv/Toyota and enter the Toyota Fan Flyaway Sweepstakes for your chance to win. So 2 out and nobody on. Now Ruben Tejada, who's walked twice and popped up 0 for 1. Bobby Abreu out on deck to pinch hit if Tejada keeps the inning going. 8 straight Mets have been retired since Tejada walked leading off the 6th. We'll see if the Mets have the late inning magic to win on the road. These are the kinds of games that plagued them for a good portion of the year, where they'd score early, let a lead get away, and then their offense would disappear late in games.
You want to win the first one out of the gate after the All-Star break.
Well, early in the second half of the season has been a real sticking point for this franchise the last few years. Particularly 2 years ago when they lost 13 of their first 15 after the break. Back in 2010, they lost 13 of their first 18 out of the break. Tejada hits one out to right center toward the gap, and that's going to go between them and back to the wall. Tejada to second with an opposite field double. 9th double of the year for Ruben Tejada.
There you go, Ruben. Fastball over the plate. Stay level. Stay on top. And you give your veteran Bobby Abreu coming into pinch hit, give him a chance to get the team ahead.
So Abreu with the go-ahead run in scoring position will take a crack at it. It's been an odd year for Bobby because he's produced as a starter but not off the bench.
Right.
He's just 2 for 26 as a pinch hitter. And honestly, that was the job he was brought here to do. And he has not done it well. However, he's done a terrific job when he started. He's also been a nice mentor for the younger outfielders. So let's see if he can come up with a big hit here in the top of the 8th. Tejada's double, the 7th Met hit of the night. And Abreu takes a fastball strike. You see the career for Abreu pinch hitting. It's not something he's excelled at.
He has been an influence, not just to the outfielders, Gary. I think to all the hitters. I think that he's been kind of someone that they go to. He's got gravitas. He's got the stats. He's the veteran. He can hit.
Takes one foul. I think you're right. I think probably the guy who's benefited most from his guidance is the guy standing on second base, Tejada. I think from the day that Abreu arrived, Tejada's game has changed for the better.
And I also feel that he's helped Lucas Duda. Lucas Duda is a similar type hitter, patient, good eye at the plate. But what Abreu has preached is, yes, I'm patient, but I'm up there ready to hit.
Now he's behind on the count 0-2. Takes another one foul down the left side. Curtis Granderson would be next. The double for Tejada was the Mets' first hit since the 3rd inning. They had 6 hits and 4 runs in the first 3 innings against Ian Kennedy, but nary a hit since until this 2-out double by Ruben. Quackenbush ahead in the count 0-2. And Abreu bounces one to short. Now Maurice in to get it. Side retired. A double and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th in San Diego. Still a 4-4 game. 3:30 your city probables. Tomorrow's game, 8:30 Eastern time. That'll be on Pix 11. Dylan G against the Padres All-Star Tyson Ross. And then Zach Wheeler goes Sunday against Odrisamer Despagne. Speaking of interesting names, Jerry's Familia will pitch for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th.
And a lot of work, 48 innings in the first half of the season. He has been splendid, has only gotten better.
We'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the San Diego batting order. Headley, Quentin, and Grandal in the bottom of the 8th. Dana Evelyn gave the Mets 2 scoreless innings in relief, 1 hit batsman. Headley tied the game with a 2-out, 2-run single against Bartolo Colon in the 5th that ruined Colon's day. Bartolo threw 4 scoreless innings, then gave up 4 runs in the 5th, and his night was over. And Familia fires up and away for ball 1. Joaquin Benoit is up in the San Diego bullpen, so that would make it appear as though Houston Street is not any longer available to pitch for the Padres. Slap to short. Tejada plays it cleanly. 1 out. Well, the heavyweight battle in Oakland tonight. Baltimore took a 4-2 lead going to the bottom of the 9th. And the A's rallied for 3 in the bottom of the 9th and beat Baltimore 5-4. They're unbelievable.
They are.
That's their 60th win. 60-36. Baltimore should surge to a 4-game lead in the East. It'll stay at 4 after they lose a heartbreaker tonight. Here's Quentin, who's 0 for 3, lined out to David Wright his last time up. Josh Edgen staying busy in the Mets bullpen. It was a Josh Donaldson walk-off 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th.
Who gave it up?
Zach Britton. Bounce toward the hole. Tejada on the backhand makes the long throw right on target. Beauty by Tejada for the 2nd out.
Well, that's a nice play and displaying terrific arm there. Strong throw. Gets to the ball. He should. It's the plant and throw with mustard on it. Nice play.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now it's Yasmani Grandal, 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch his last time up. Out to left center. Lagares was playing deep over in the gap. He makes the backhand catch. Where extra base hits go to die. Into that man's glove. Another beauty from Lagares. 1, 2, 3 go the Padres on to the 9th, still tied at 4. We'll get to you eventually, guys. Changes for the Padres, a new outfield alignment. Seth Smith moves from right field to left field. Cameron Maybin is in the game to play center. He'll bat ninth. Will Venable moves from center field to right field, and the new pitcher Joaquin Benoit will hit in the 3-hole.
Well, Benoit is going to be the new closer of this ball club. If we're pretty certain that Houston Street has been traded to California Angels.
California Angels.
Oh, excuse me.
That's like 3 incarnations ago.
Sorry about that.
Sorry. Curtis Granderson will lead off in the 9th against Benoit, who has that great changeup. Right on the verge of his 37th birthday and still going strong. Granderson 2 for 4 tonight, and he lays off and takes ball 1. So it's Granderson, Murphy, and Wright, top of the batting order for the Mets against Benoit. Tie game at home. You bring your closer in, and Benoit now has that role. And he pops the fastball in for a strike, 1-1. Granderson 0 for 3 in his career against Benoit, who started out in Texas but became a star in Tampa and then in Detroit. Another big year for the Padres. 2 balls and a strike to Granderson. He'll throw that changeup almost a third of the time.
It's a good sinking change.
And Granderson lays off the changeup. Stopped the swing in time. Eric Cooper, the third base umpire. Now it's 3-1. Mets have had just 1 hit since the 3rd inning. Double by Tejada in the 8th. 3 strong innings out of the San Diego bullpen. And Granderson draws a walk to start the top of the 9th. So Benoit walking the first man to face him. Around the Majors brought to you by Cadillac. CC Sabathia done for the year. Josh Donaldson 3-run walk-off home run. And the A's beat the Orioles 5-4. And Endy Chavez with an RBI single. Endy's still going strong. Mariners and Angels tied 2-2 in the 9th. Here's Murphy, who's gone 0 for 4 tonight. Granderson the go-ahead run at first and nobody out. And Murphy up there swinging. 0-1.
Murph's been pulling off a little bit sometimes. I just wonder if he's looking to try to jack something first pitch. He got beat there.
Granderson has a stolen base tonight. Fastball away, 1-1. Stolen base in the 2nd inning was Curtis's 8th of the year. David Wright on deck, Lucas Duda behind him. That's got 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. Padres tied it with 4 in the 5th off Colon, and the Mets looking for that go-ahead run in the 9th.
Like a hit and run here. No, it's not going to happen.
All fastballs so far from Benoit. 1-2. Murphy 1 for 2 in his career against Joaquin Benoit. Wastes away that changeup.
Always alert. Terry Collins.
Well, the one advantage you have the first day out of the All-Star break, you got your whole bullpen fresh. If you happen to have a long game. 1-2. Under the glove of Benoit. Amarista with a great stop, and he throws out Murphy.
Wow.
That ball appeared ticketed for center field, but here came Amarista to make a great play.
I'm wondering if the ball was slowed down by the body of right under the wickets. No, it did not touch him. That's just a heck of a play.
Gets Granderson to second. So now the Mets have the go-ahead run in scoring position with one out and David Wright coming up. But Amarista saving much bigger trouble for San Diego.
Well, untouched by, that's just a terrific play. Gosh.
So now Granderson in scoring position. You got Wright at the plate, Duda on deck. David's 0 for 3 and a walk tonight. Swinging first pitch. Headley with a nice play. The spin around, and he gets right as Granderson moves to third. Now there are 2 out. Headley, the former Gold Glover, handling that one with ease.
And the little 360 here. Completely in control. Realizes you have plenty of time.
So now Duda will come up with the go-ahead run at third and 2 out. We're going to have a meeting at the mound. They're going to talk about how they want to approach Duda.
Well, you got a lefty with the youngster d'Arnaud in the on-deck circle. Open base. Do you want to pitch Duda carefully? You want to go after him? To tell you the truth,
the way d'Arnaud's swinging the bat right now,
d'Arnaud to me is a tough out and a tough RBI out. I'd go after Duda.
d'Arnaud has hit the ball hard 4 times tonight,
and just not just so much tonight, but what his body of work has been since 2 weeks now.
Right.
I mean, he's hit the ball great, but he's really coming on. And you know what? You got a doggone good pitcher out there in Benoit. He can get lefties out. But they're going to
walk Duda and pitch to d'Arnaud. So maybe he asked Benoit what he thought, but Darren Balsley came running out, and they decided not to let Duda beat them. So this is a very interesting call because, d'Arnaud's been facing right-hand pitching all night and hitting bullets, and now he'll get another crack.
Well, I can't second guess this. You're playing percentages. You're going to walk the left-hand hitter and face the right-hand hitter. And you've got one of the top relievers in the game and out there, so I can't second guess this.
Well, Bud Black and Darren Balsley went over the numbers, went with their gut. And this is what they've decided. We'll see whether d'Arnaud, who, as we mentioned early, has struggled in RBI spots, but he came through in the first inning with a big base hit to drive in the Mets' first run. The Mets box score presented by Hospital for Special Surgery. Mets have put together 4 runs and 7 hits tonight. They need 1 big hit right now out of Travis d'Arnaud. 2 for 4 tonight, and the 2 times has been retired. A line drive to short and a line drive to left. First and third and 2 out, 4-4 top of the 9th. d'Arnaud, his first meeting with Joaquin Benoit. Way outside.
He's not happy with that. He overthrew that slider.
Granderson drew a leadoff walk, got to third on a pair of groundouts. Duda then intentionally walked. Two 2-0 to d'Arnaud with Neuenhuis on deck.
Okay, good pitch to hit right here. You pick your pitch you want to rip.
Two-0 from Benoit. Pop foul. That'll go out of play. 2-1. Travis d'Arnaud playing down the coast from his home in Lakewood, California. And hoping a return to SoCal will get him a big hit.
I've never heard it called that before.
Really?
SoCal.
Now you have. Two 2-1. Too high. 3-1.
Good pitch to hit. Good eye. And that's a pitch you can kind of, it's up in the eyes. You can be over anxious.
I was looking at Tom Hallion. He wanted that to be a strike. It looked high.
Now you got a nice pitch to hit here. Look away.
(3-1) to d'Arnaud. Beat him with a high fastball. 3-2.
Almost the identical pitch he took. 3-1 to make it 3-1, Gare. The same pitch, a little higher. He got a little over anxious there.
So now Duda will be in motion from first. 3-2 to d'Arnaud.
Travis hits one toward the hole, base hit, and the Mets have the lead. Granderson scores, Duda to third. Travis d'Arnaud comes through, and the Mets lead 5-4 in the ninth. Third hit, second RBI in the ninth for d'Arnaud, and the Mets are back in front.
Look away. 2 strikes. You got to protect the plate. That is beautiful hitting. Fastball belt high up. I like what I'm seeing from d'Arnaud. Big clutch hit. Started by that man.
So they walk Duda to get to d'Arnaud, and d'Arnaud makes them pay. 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight after 7 for 52 coming into the night. Big change of fortune for d'Arnaud and for the Mets. Now Neuenhuis looking to add to the lead. First and third and 2 out. And Kirk goes after a high fastball, 0-1. Neuenhuis 0 for 3 and a walk tonight. Drove in a run with a third inning groundout. Mets at a 4-0 lead. It got away. Now they've got a lead, and Henry Mejia getting ready to try to protect it. 0-2 to Neuenhuis.
Here's the pitch sequence. Remember the bad slider, first pitch. 1-0. Fastball away, misses badly. 2-0. Fastball belt high. That was a close pitch. He laid off 3-1. Fastball. There's he chases a high fastball, and then he settles down. Fastball away, belt high. Nicely done.
Neuenhuis out on the changeup. That ends the inning. But the Mets take the lead on d'Arnaud's 2-out hit. And now they'll hand it off to Henry Mejia for the bottom of the ninth. 5-4 New York. Mets have the lead 5-4 as we go to the bottom of the ninth, and Henry Mejia comes in to try to lock it down.
Well, going for his 11th save. He's been put into that role as the stopper, and he has seamlessly moved into it. And I think loves it and is thriving in it. So a big 3 outs for Henry here to get this Met club that finished 8-2 before the All-Star break to get it off on the right track after the break. Very important to win the first one.
And you saw the splits on Mejia, much more effective against left-hand hitters than right. It'll get left-hand hitters to start this inning, Venable and Gobert. And then the right-hand batting Chris Nelson, who's had a good first game as a Padre. A game in which the Mets let a 4-0 lead get away. They've come back to tie. The Padres came back to tie, and now the Mets back in front. After the post game, it's Kareth Burke. And we'll find out about CC Sabathia's upcoming knee surgery. Night cheese. I finally figured out what BAE meant. Thanks, Kareth. It's a term of endearment.
Yes.
Not just a Danish word. That was our quiz before the
yes, I remember.
All-Star
I
break.
recall.
Will Venable leads off for the Padres in the last of the ninth. The Padres have another rally in them. It was Venable who got them started in the 5th against Colon after Bartolo had made it look easy for 4 innings. Venable singled past Colon's glove into center field and scored the first of the 4 Padre runs in the 5th inning.
David right in at the corner.
And Venable takes the breaking ball outside for ball 1.
You see Lucas Duda guarding the line. Playing back. Outfield deep.
Venable looking to bunt and takes a fastball strike, 1-1. The rookie Jake Gobert on deck, and then Chris Nelson in the 9th. Upstairs, 2-1. Danny Evelyn gave the Mets 2 scoreless innings of relief. Jerry's Familia pitched a 1-2-3/8. He's now pitcher of record on the long side. And Mejia trying to finish it off. Mets have started to turn things around in these 1-run games. See if they can lock it down tonight. Chopper, foul, 2-2. Mets at one point were 10-20 in 1-run games, but they won their last 3 decided by 1 run and trying to make it 4 tonight. So much of that has to do with the improvement of the Mets bullpen, which early in the season was responsible for a lot of those 1-run defeats.
Yeah, and I think that with Dice K going back out there in the bullpen, it's just going to make it. It's just going to strengthen it.
2-2. Lifted to left. Neuenhuis steadies. 1 out. Well, let's answer our Verizon trivia question for tonight, shall we?
Let's do that.
It was a difficult question. I'm thinking John Olerud. You're thinking maybe yourself.
No, I wasn't thinking myself.
There you go. John Olerud, who had the highest single-season batting average in Mets history, finished .354 that year. .381 after the break.
That is a tremendous second half.
1 out. Here's Jake Gobert, 0 for 2 and a walk. So your best second half as a Met was .343, 1986.
Yep. That was the year I tried. In '86, I was hitting like around .260 at the break.
Your MVP year in '79, .367 after the break.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. Just missed. Ball and a strike to Gobert. Blaine Boyer up in case the Padres tie the game. 1-1 from Mejia. And he badly fools Gobert. 1-2.
Wicked slide ball. This is very nasty. Wow, downward tilt.
He's got more in his repertoire than most closers. Most of those guys are two-pitch pitchers, not Mejia.
Strike three call. Got him looking. 2 down.
But that's wicked. That's just unfair right there. Slider down and in, followed by a curveball in the outside corner. May have been outside. Nicely framed by d'Arnaud. He may have got him a little. He went out and got that one, reached for it. He's good.
Some of what he does. And thus the Padres down to their final out. Chris Nelson making his Padres debut tonight. 1 for 3, drove in their first run with a 5th inning single. And he takes a fastball low and in for ball 1. Nelson just called up today. Alexi Amarista, who's had a terrific night with the bat and the glove, would be next. 1-0 to the veteran. And there's a strike, 1-1. That's trying to make it 8 wins in their last 9 games. 1 out away. And Nelson takes a strike. Good slider, 1-2. And now the Padres are down to their final strike. One-two. Over the glove. Murphy on the backhand.
Oh, Murphy.
And he throws it away, and it hits off the dugout railing. Fortunately for Murphy, if that ball bounces in the dugout, Nelson goes to second. But because it hit off the dugout fence, he'll have to stay at first.
Well, this is what you get from Murph. You got no chance. Anybody watching anywhere in the ballpark, you know you don't have a chance for the guy, and put it in your back pocket. That ball could have gone in the seats, and the base hit could tie the ball game.
So it's an infield single for Chris Nelson, his second hit of the night, and the Padres' 7th. And now the tying run is aboard for Alexi Amarista, who's 3 for 3. He's driven in a run. He's scored a run. He's played some tremendous defense. And now he's trying to keep the Padres going. Amarista, sneaky occasional power. Takes a curveball that just missed, I think. Tom Hallion said it was a ball.
That was a late breaker. I think it fooled the umpire. Watch this late break. That's a strike.
Sure looked like one, but not to Hallion. Cameron Maben is batting 9th in the order. He would be next. Nelson the tying run at first and 2 out. And Amarista bounces one to Murphy. Nice easy hop, and the ball game is over. Henry Mejia nails it down after Travis d'Arnaud puts the Mets in front with his 3rd hit of the night. And the Mets keep the good times rolling coming out of the break. Their 8th win in 9 games as they take the opener of this series in San Diego 5-4.
Well, I said it before this game started. It's important to get off on a good foot after the All-Star break. A team that ended strong, and also another victory that's keeps the momentum flowing. Another not a come from behind victory. They get off quick. It's tied up. They win late. And d'Arnaud with the big day. 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and a game winner.
Yeah, they beat a terrific pitcher in Joaquin Benoit. Leadoff walk hurts him. d'Arnaud with the big at bats. And the Mets now within 4 games of 500 with the victory tonight as they edge the Padres 5-4. Travis d'Arnaud 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Drove in the first Met run and the last Met run with a 2-out single in the top of the 9th. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $115,000. Mets come out of the All-Star break. They let a 4-run lead get away, but they get the big hit. and the save from Mejia. And the Mets win it 5-4. Back with more from San Diego in a moment.